Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Ohio Fish Rescue's live stream.
Happy Fishy Friday, are you?
Yes, nice Fishy Friday. All right,
Maybe we
let's see.
should ask for some feedback and
Oh my God.
see if they can actually hear us and see us now.
No. Tyler, I guarantee, has been waiting all week long practicing this. Here's our hairy host, Jerry, aka Reaper's dad, and Big Bad Rich. Let's go. Happy Fish Friday, Fishy, everyone. Let's go. He's been planning that. He's been writing that out. He's been talking to himself. I bet he stood in front of a mirror and said this a couple times.
I got to back up a couple of comments. Tyler was saying that he's not. What did he say there? Somebody asked, "Oh yeah, what's up, Bob? How's it going? Good, I hope." And Tyler, not yet, Bob, but soon will be. He's planning his good on us getting on here tonight.
Bob Taylor came in and said, "Sound and vision. Thank you very much."
Wow.
All right. Yeah, I worked on it this morning and I figured out what the problem was. You know, every once in a while you got to restart your phone. Well, I restarted the computer and still had the same problem. So I shut it down again and I disconnected the Logitech Brio camera and I started up without it. I plugged it in and it said, "Oh, found Logitech Brio. Let's install it. Here's the drivers, blah, blah, blah." And then all of a sudden it worked again. That was the problem from last week. There was no switching or program or buttons or connections I could make that would have worked last week. I had to shut it down, disconnect it, and start it up and reinstall it, basically. You know, it's just technology. It's supposed to be smarter than us, right? So, hi, everybody. Shauna says hi. Bambi says, "Love the background." Well, you know why? Since I restarted, let me show you what happened to the background. Our normal background, let me show it to you. It's up here.
Oh, we're going to play again?
No. I'm just going to turn it on. It's in front of this one, so it'll just overlay it. All right, so there is Yeti mic. Where's the webcam? There's a webcam. Okay, here's the cichlid background. Oh, it's working now. I just showed you 30 seconds ago. It was dark and gray and hazy.
Yeah.
Screw technology. We'll just go with this one for now.
That's a nice background. Very old, but
that was my 150 when we had the plants overgrowing the place.
No questions about the fish in the background. They ain't here no more.
All of them are.
What? No.
We got a couple of rainbows left.
That discus is still back there.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay. With the rainbows and tetras and stuff. All those plants.
So Smith comes in and says, "Hello." As usual, late as fuck, duh. Oh, did I just swear? This is a family show, ain't it? No, this is the live stream. You can swear. It says no kids. You know, I've gotten bitched out by people that log on and they're like, "This was supposed to be a family-friendly show." No. Ohio Fish Rescue is a family-friendly show. You know, the Fishy Stream live stream is we get drunk and things can be said. It's not really, family friendly.
Speaking of which, who's going to come up with a drinking word tonight?
Oh, yeah. Let's let them do it. What's a drinking word, guys? Lorenz Cordoba says, "Reaper's looking good for his age." He's 103 this week. Oh my God. Big Dog says, "Big Rich looks like my granny today." Your granny got hair like this? Right. Isaac says, "Do you have any jaguar cichlids at the rescue?" I don't think so. We don't have any, right? We don't have any to get rid of, but if we have one, it's in our tanks because I don't.
We have one on display in the cichlid tank.
Okay.
It's the one that hybridized with that red tiger moto.
Craig's catfish cave is evil. He says, "Hi" is the drinking word.
HIGH?
Well, that too, but anybody says hi, it's time to drink.
I have a habit of doing that when I hi everybody.
Sue Ann's here. Says, We were afraid we were going to miss the beginning. We were stuck in traffic for an hour coming home. You can always log on with your phone.
There's someplace.
You ain't got to worry about it. And if you're not here, there's other mods that take care of things. That's why there's so many of them.
There you are.
That way, you know, when you're here, it's all good. Hell, our lead mod hardly ever shows up. You know? Urban Micro Homestead says the drinking word should be fish.
Somebody already suggested fish too.
Stanley says, hey, Big Rich. Matt says, hey, from prison. How long's he got? When's he getting out?
Pleases the drink. Yes, pleases the drinking.
You know, there's been like 3 highs since then. I think high should be the drinking word. Hi, everybody.
Ouch.
So it says, hi, Gracie. See? Fish family. That's a bot, and it says, hey there. That's the same as hi, right? Got to drink again.
Oh, we're getting technicalities now.
Stephen Miller says, I watch on catch up every week due to overtime on Saturday. I'm in Scotland, so 11 p.m. start, and I'm up till 5 a.m. Tomorrow is different, though, as I'm getting. Oh, you're getting married? Congratulations, Stephen.
Whoa.
Or condolences. I'm kidding.
Hey, whatever works. Man.
Yeah. I mean, I wish you the best. You know, when 2 people are so in love, and that's the next step. It seems normal. And then, you know, you drift apart after the years, and then you just can't believe how that other person can turn so evil against you. You thought you were best friends. You thought you were, you know, even if we don't want to be together no longer, we'll still be civil with each other. That's not how it works out. I'm sorry. So that's why I said that. So I'm sorry to darken any, you know, bright clouds on your horizon. Congratulations on your nuptials. I hope it works for you. Didn't work for me, but I'm still with her, so. Hi. Jay and Barb, the fish keeper, says, hi, everybody. Hi. You okay over there, old man? You sound like we may need to call the hospital.
Not too many highs on there.
Okay. Oh, your old buddy Raheem says, hi, everybody.
We're not trying to make up for all of them at once.
I guess.
Get greedy when all I gotta do is sip.
Urban Micro Homestead says, hi. Rich, you're getting lit tonight. I'm just going to sip it down to here, okay? Jeez. Wow. Ooh, okay. Stanley says, hey, Rich, he gets out in August and goes to the halfway house over here in Lima. Well, I ain't far away. You can visit him at the halfway house. You know, just let him know he's got work to do when he gets out. He's got shit to do. There ain't no time for messing around, going back to prison. Jem says, hi, hey, whatever's the drinking word. Jordan Fleming asks an actual fish question. Says, hey, Rich, I've got a question. What silicone is going to be strong enough to hold my 200-gallon tank together? All we use here is GE1 silicone. And it don't have, what's the stuff that we don't have in normal silicone? I mean, I know it, I forget the name.
Oh, I don't remember.
You don't remember either. But GE1 is the one that don't have whatever it is you don't want in there. And that's the one to use, GE1. Hayden says, love the new background. Hayden G, are you the one that comes over and does community service, Hayden? Or are you just like a viewer, Hayden, that hasn't been here before?
He's the ranch Hayden. She's one of your mods.
She's one of my mods, or he's one of my mods.
And
Let us know if it's he or she too. Jeez,
Hey,
we're so
okay.
confused over here. We're not confused about our sexuality. We're confused about everybody else's. Well, there's certain names,
Hey,
you know. Like seriously, you know.
I get fed up with it, man, because where I was raised, the best cook cooks and the best hunter hunts.
Right.
It ain't got a damn thing to do with sex, you know. And I mean, your name is your name.
Tyler says everyone's going to be drunk before the end of the first hour.
Hey,
Let's hope.
High only counts as a drinking word if you spell it right. It's got to be H-I-G-H.
Ah, that was your stipulation.
So 3 little highs don't count, man. I'm not keeping up with all of that. Thanks, Bambi. Hi to you too.
She's right on point. The girl that won't even use, you know, she's so like good to the earth. She won't even, you know, use like milk or butter in a cookie. She's got to be straight vegan all the way. Send you a H-I-G-H. Well, that I guess that's technically spiritual and natural from the earth, you know. Okay. Bob Taylor says, "Let us take you higher, Jerry." Raheem says, "Hi, Dumpy." See, I'm saying Dumpy now. I see another thing on here, but
Let's take you higher. Yeah, Stephen Miller, 10 pounds.
said happy marriage.
Happy marriage.
Here's to you. Here's to the wedding.
Do it right now. If the commitment's already there, more power to it. The paper just gets you through a few more hurdles.
No. The marriage is a chance because you got the wedding night. It's a chance to show off, you know. Show off so good that she'll never leave you.
I'm too over that shit, man. I don't need
Oh,
an
stop
excuse.
it.
It's just another excuse to party.
Yeah.
I mean, my ex-wife and I were together for 2 years before we even really considered marriage. And then it was more of a matter of just paperwork.
Stanley says, yeah, he's got to get straightened out because he's got that house he's buying and he's got to stay out of the way. Yeah, you know, that's the problem. You know, some people take longer to grow up. Some people, you know, you got to stay out of trouble. You got to not do these things that whatever it was that he was doing, you got to not do it. You just got to, you know, I've had to walk away from people that wanted to start fights or aggravating or arguing or whatever. I just had to walk away, you know, have a nice day and leave. And they're walking, you know, they're behind me yelling at me, you know, walk away, scared ass, you know, whatever. And I just had to keep walking because I'm going to go to jail. You know, we're both going to go to jail if that keeps up. You know, and you know, when you're young, you can't get that. All you think about is your pride. He said, I'm scared. You know, I got it. You know, you got to get past all that. You got to get past the drugs and all the stupid stuff. You know, it's the only way to get anywhere is sort of, I don't want to say conform, but you got to follow the rules to live in their world, basically. You have to.
I just got no use for rules that protect me from me. If they protect you from me, fine. But if they're protecting me from me, it's got no business being there.
So if there's a rule that you can't drink and get drunk, and you're getting drunk and being a abusive parent or something,
then I'm being wrong with you.
No, you're being wrong with you and your family.
No, yeah, in the first sense, but at the same time, it's.
Well, I think we delved into something so deep that we should talk about.
No. What I'm talking about is the government saying I gotta wear a frickin' helmet.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of shit. You know, it's protecting me from me.
Right,
I want to go riding.
If you want to wear no helmet, that's your prerogative. Yeah.
You know, if I want to do up a hit of heroin and kill myself, that's my business. I'm not hurting anybody else.
You do heroin?
No. I'm just saying. Yeah, you know, at that level, it should be handled medically anyway.
Well, that's natural selection right there. If you want to do that, go ahead and do that, you know, and God will just take you out and natural selection.
No, I'm just saying that they write laws to protect
You know what
me
kills
from
me?
me.
That okay, you get somebody that's overdose on heroin, and the cops give them free Narcan, right?
Yeah,
And they bring them back to life.
yeah.
But you got somebody on stage 4 cancer, you have to pay out the nose to stay alive, you know,
Well,
and the medical and all that shit.
blame the medical community for that.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. Doompy says, "Sorry, I'm already drunk." Urban Micro Homestead says hi and spelled right. Everyone's spelling it right now because of you, Jerry. Herman Hill, hi.
Let us take you higher.
That's a good song.
Try to catch some crazy fish later.
What happened? We jumped ahead, I guess. All right, here we go.
We jumped again.
Yeah, I didn't even know it. Tyler says, for real, Jerry, I'm a stay-at-home dad, and my works, I have anxiety, so it's hard to find places to work. So thank you for saying that, because I get made fun of for it all the time, and I'm not going to lie, it sucks. Well, that sucks.
Hey, that's too bad that it sucks for you, but it's just
No. You got to understand, he's a stay-at-home dad. That's what all moms are supposed to be.
Yeah, I know.
You know, that's what they're supposed to do. And if he's doing the job that a woman's supposed to do, then he's doing a good job.
After I got my back busted, I was a stay-at-home dad.
I was just well, actually, I wasn't a stay-at-home dad when Tracy left. You know, I took care of my kids for 2 years. You know,
you were to take them work with you.
I took them to work with me, Dad.
Same thing, man.
So I mean, I took care of them and worked, and you know, people just don't understand how much it is to actually stay at home and take care of the family. When if a girl does it, that's fine. If a guy does it, he's lazy. You know, how does that even understand? That don't make sense. It's a hard job. I've raised my kids. You know, I've had to raise Tracy and my kids because when she got sick and had narcolepsy and nobody knew what it was, she was always sleeping. I was still watching the kids. I was still taking care of the kids. I was still taking care of her and the kids, you know. So, I mean, for 16 years, we didn't know what was wrong with her. We just thought she was super lazy. Then she got, diagnosed with narcolepsy, and she got the narcolepsy pills, and she was up and awake again. And all of a sudden, I got my wife back, you know. It was crazy. But, as a parent, as a father, as a husband, I just took over where there was lacking, and I just did. So, I don't know. My kids got raised good. It's all I know. They're all good, productive members of the society. That I'm proud of that, you know.
I won't argue with that. They're good kids. Plan suggestions for an electric blue Arca.
A car. Did you say Arca? Really?
Yes, I did say that.
You're better than that, Jerry. I know you. You almost made me choke on my drink. Oh my goodness. Plant suggestions. Well, the electric blue car, I like to chew up plants and reroot plants, so you can't have anything planted in the bottom, except for there are a few plants. Now, I don't know them, but if you get a hold of my buddy, what's his name? I'll remember in a minute. But anyways, he's got some plants that are cichlid proof. And I don't remember what they are. I'll look it up for you and I'll give it to you. But in the meantime, you can also put pothos up top and then have the roots in the water. Now you can take, the nets they have, you can put in the water and suction cup that your thing. You can put the plant in that and it'll keep it away from the fish and it'll fill that up with roots. And you're good to go. And the plants will grow and they'll eat the nitrates and everything's good. And for that, I suggest that, the water bamboo and the pothos. Great plants. Also the, what are the plants on the corners of the pool? I always forget their names. And then I'm like, oh yeah.
Damn lilies.
Peace lilies. Peace lilies. Peace lilies work good too, but you got to protect the roots. You know, if they're going, the fish are going to eat them, they ain't going to grow. So, all right.
Anubias congesus. It's the middle size of the Anubias, and it takes the damage that the cichlids can dish out. It grows real slow. You have to get one pretty much the size you want. You know, I mean, but any of the Anubias are pretty much cichlid proof. And you can have, if you've got deep enough root structures, some plants will take cichlids. The big sword plants and those dang chain swords. I mean those chain Sagittarius and Val, chain Val. Doesn't care.
Well, you know, that was Lucas Bretz came here, and he was like, I can fill this pool up with plants that the fish will not mess up. And he brought a bunch of like 4-foot long val, and he planted it all across the rocks, all the way around the pool. And the next, he spent the night. The next morning, they were all tore up and floating and in the filter.
They have to be established. I mean, they have to be in a. Actually, I'm not a botanist or anything. It's just experience, and I love the little Anubias plants, and I like my plants. And I've got a nice collection of Anubias, actually.
Okay, we only got 130 viewers, so we can't do the Tracy update yet. I know it's 6:23, but usually we wait till it's 200 people, and then we do the Tracy update. So, yeah, no, I've got another TV hooked up. I've got a video of me and Jerry there, and I've got the chat here, and then another TV down here. I can see 133 current viewers, 41 likes, chat revenue, and members, and you know, and stream and all that kind of stuff. So I've got the two TVs hooked up great, and then I have this thing, which tells me the time. That tells me the time, and it's sitting right here on the thing. So we now are never going to be late again. You know, we're sitting here talking and laughing and having fun, and we're like, oh shit, it's 6:03. How many times have we done that, Jerry? So
yeah, we are all a few minutes. No one hurts to start at
I stay over all the time. I start, and I go late all the time. Or you leave, and I still go late.
Once.
Many times, Jerry.
Did I oh no, okay, twice.
No, many times. I remember one time I stayed on for like 8 hours. I was drunker than shit.
Second time.
No,
that was the first time. Second time was just the other day.
Okay. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that your memory is shit. Mark says, I'm late, damn it, but I got pizza, so it's okay. No. It's only okay that you got pizza. We don't have pizza. It's not okay. You're late. And he didn't even say hi.
No, he said boobs.
Oh, he did. Yes. Boobs was last week.
That was last week, man.
This week it's high. H-I-G-H. Stanley says, Rich, you are the biggest party. His issue is trust with his wife. No, I don't have no more trust issues with my wife. That was 25 years ago. I divorced her. I got the kids, the house, everything. All she wanted was a new boyfriend. And then she ended up homeless. I let her move in here under certain rules. I don't want a bunch of guys coming in and out. I don't want, my kids knowing Uncle Harry, Uncle Mike, Uncle, George, Uncle whatever. I don't want that shit for my kids. I went through that with my mom. So I want, I swear to God, if I got married, it's going to be to one person, and I will be loyal, and I will never, ever be married again. And I've kept true to that. So she ended up homeless. I let her move back in here, and I had her setting rules. And then she adhered to these rules and she became the best mother to my children and the best wife to me. I just didn't believe it. For years, all she wanted was to remarry me. And you know what? Looking back now, for 25 years, she lived with me and never, ever messed around with nobody else. She put up with all my anger, all my attitude, all my ignorance, and she still wanted to remarry me. And I didn't know any of that. You know, I thought, you know, fool me once, you know, that's on you. Fool me twice, that's on me. And I was never going to give her the benefit of the doubt or the trust again, you know. And it wasn't until she died. It's a little rough for me. I got, you know, she was going to therapy too. She had wrote all these letters that I guess her therapist told her to write, like she wanted to say to me, to help her talk to me. She's supposed to write out all of her feelings and everything she wanted on these letters. And every time she'd come to therapy, they'd read these letters and, you know, and it would help, you know. Well, when she died, well, we saved her, you know, but she's in the hospital. I started going through everything in my room and stuff, and you know, her dresser was on the one side, and I found this whole big thing, folder full of letters, and they were just beautiful. How much she wanted to be remarried, how much she regrets what she did, how much she loves me, how much, you know, I was so smart, and you know what, everything I've done for the family, and she didn't realize that. She didn't know that she was part of my family. She was like an entity of her own, and this guy's over here saying, you know, do this for the family, do this for the family. Well, everything I did was for our family, you know, and she was part of my family. So when she did what she did, that was the closest I ever came to killing myself. That was horrible. It was horrible. And I don't know how I got through it, but I did. But, you know, all this time I thought she was just trying to lie to me and sneak, you know, and anything else and try and make me believe this when it was really true. So that's why I told her, I tell her all the time, you know, when she looks at me and she you know, I can tell that she's there. I tell her every time. And once you start to be able to talk or communicate, squeeze my hand, blink your eyes, whatever, I will remarry you. You are my wife, you know. She went through 25 years of the hatred and the anger of somebody that's been cheated on, you know. And she stayed, and all she wanted was remarried. To me, she died for her sins, and I will remarry her. Period. She was such a good mother to my kids. At that point, she was so good to me. I mean, she basically waited on me hand and foot, and I didn't even realize how well I had it until she was gone, and now I'm taking care of her. I'm having to do my own laundry, my own dishes, clean the kitchen, clean the house, clean the bag of the rugs, you know, clean everything on top of just trying to live and keep the rescue going. And I'm like, I didn't realize how much she did around here. She was such an angel to me.
Is this the Tracy update?
I guess this is the Tracy update. Let's start that. How did that happen, Jerry? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's a Tracy update.
Oh, that was not out of nowhere, man. That was all you.
Oh my God, that's.
Passed up about 50 highs, but
Oh, we did.
yeah,
So, you know, it was hard for me to admit that she was real about her feelings all this time because, you know, if you lie to me, if you rob me, you borrow $20 and you never pay me back, and you don't talk to me for 3 or 4 or 5 years because you borrowed $20, you know, I'm thinking, okay, you're a POS, you know, whatever. And next time you talk to me, you know, you thinking you're my best friend because how close we were. No, you're not my best friend. You're a dude that stole from me, you know. And you still want that status of being best friends, and you know, you're like, I've been busy for years. I'm like, yeah, whatever. What's up? What do you need? You know, why are you calling me? You know, basically. And I treated her the same way, you know, and it was. I feel bad, so bad now. You know, she passed away. The whole time, all she wanted was to be remarried to me, and I didn't see it. I didn't feel it. I could have been remarried to her 25 years ago and had been living a great life since, and not been angered with her. But I had that hatred, that anger, and she dealt with it. She put up with it. She deserves to be married again. And she deserves to wake up and see her granddaughters. They're so, she's got 2 granddaughters now, and they're so adorable. Little, Laura comes over here and she's like, "Hi, Grandma." And she jumps up on the bed and she strokes her face, says, "Hi, Grandma, wake up, Grandma." It's so, you can't help it. Maybe start to cry at that point. She's so adorable. So innocent and so just loving. Oh my God. So, I wish I was not a stupid man. I wish I could have forgave her, because she did. There's no, once that trust is breaking, you don't think it'll ever come back, but it can. She spent 25 years here with my hatred and my anger and put up with it because she wanted back. I mean, who would do that? I wouldn't do that. You hate me, you act like you hate me, screw you. I'm out of here. No, she did. All she wanted was back, and I should have gave it to her. I should have. But, hindsight's 2020. I mean, I love this shit out of her. She's the only girl that ever, stuck with me, that was good. And then I got pregnant, I had one other girl, I got pregnant, and she was a stripper that I tried turning into a housewife, and that didn't work out well. And Tracy helped me raise him, He was part-time. I got him on weekends and all that stuff because, she was, "I can do better than you. I can do blah, blah, blah." And now she came over here like, I don't know, it was 15 years ago. And she's like, "Oh my God, Rich, you've done so well for yourself. I should have never left you." Right in front of Tracy. And Tracy's like, "He's mine now." And she sat down in my lap. You see I don't know. I thought it was funny as shit. Tracy just sat in my lap and goes, "Yeah, he's mine now." I was like, holy shit. But yeah, that's why I promised her as soon as she could say yes, I would remarry her, because that's what she deserves, is a good rest of her life. She's at this point, I don't see she's done nothing wrong to me. She's made up for it for 25 years. Maybe she was stupid when she was young, but she's made up for it so much more. Okay, let's see where we left off here. Geez, it jumped way ahead. All right, let's go here. But anyways, to continue the Tracy update, before I can find out where I left, she has done something this week that she's never done before. I walked into the room and I was just talking to Latrice, our #1 nurse. And I come in and I forget what I said, like, "Hey, Latrice, how's Tracy been?" Something like that. Something stupid. I don't remember what it was. It doesn't matter. But I come in and I start talking to Latrice. And Tracy, she's always looked towards me. But it was always like this. She's laying there, maybe with her eyes closed or eyes open. And then I start talking on this side and she'll go and look my way and look right at me, And now I was like, "Oh, honey, I see you looking at me. I know you understand me, love you, can't wait for you to come back," that kind of stuff. And then this week was the first time this ever happened. I come in there and I go, "Hey, Latrice, how's Tracy doing?" or whatever I said. I don't remember. But as soon as I said that, Tracy was laying like on her back, but a little bit up, pointing towards Latrice. And Tracy went like this. And it's just so fast, just turned and stared at me. I'm like, oh my God. I looked at Latrice to say, did you see that? And Latrice, I was already going, did you just see that? You know? So we were both like, oh my God, yeah. She, did you see how fast I was? And she's like, yeah. I've never seen Tracy move that fast. So I reached out, I gave her a kiss on her forehead, and I told her, I miss you, baby. I can't wait till you come back, you know, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, that was one thing. But it happened a second time. Like 2 days later, she did it again, which tells me she's getting more movement. She's getting more control of her body, which before she could move, she'd hear me, and she'd look up, and then she'd turn, and then she'd connect, you know? Now she's able to just look like in the direction that she hears my voice. So that tells me that's a jump ahead. And, you know, that's another big baby step ahead. You know, she can control herself that quickly, that much. And I was freaking out over it, you know. I reached out and I was like, oh, honey, you're here. You're there. I can talk to you. You know, I told her about her granddaughters again. I told her about, you know, everything. And as soon as you can, you know, squeeze my hand and let go. And well, that's another thing I got to tell you about. As soon as you can squeeze my hand and let go, or blink your eyes for yes or no, you know, we're going to get remarried, honey. And I was talking to Latrice, and she's such a good girl. I mean, she's a younger nurse, maybe in her 20s, and you know, she's got a longtime boyfriend, a good guy, and you know, she comes here and she really cares about Tracy. I love Latrice. I will protect her. You know, she's a good girl. Well, you know, she's always talking with Tracy and doting on Tracy and this and that. And, you know, when Latrice seen that, she freaked out. You know, she saw a step up, you know. And, you know, it's thank God Tracy's in her care, you know. And you know, Miriam, our night nurse, is such a sweetheart. She's like part of the family, you know. And then we got a nurse that comes in once a week that is so better than our other nurses, other than, you know, the two I just mentioned. That she only comes in once a week, you know, but she does such good care. We only got one nurse left, and y'all know who I'm talking about, that we need to replace. But other than that, you know, Latrice was freaked out because I made that yes/no board, and you know, Tracy does sort of use it, yeah, maybe, you know, but I don't know. It's not. I can't tell you for certain she uses it. She does look at you know, both sides, and it's hard for me to tell because I have to always question her. Oh, did you look at the yes, or did you mean yes, or are you just looking that way? You know, I'm going to ask you a question now. Look at the yes again, and she may look at the no, or she may look at the yes again, and I have to test her again. You know, was this for sure? Are you seriously here? I'll flip it upside down. Now the yes is on this side, and if she can see yes on this side and looks this way, then I can, you know, trust it. She's real. Well, I've never got her to pass these tests yet, you know. So I'm still working with her, and I'm still trying hard. And you know, we got Latrice that gives her a daily, you know, what do you call it? A bed bath? Yeah, a daily bed bath, and she washes her hair daily. She does so much for Tracy. It's amazing. And I don't ever have to worry when Latrice is here. Now, Marion's a night nurse. She don't have to do as much, but I never have to worry. I can actually sleep when Marion's here. You know, I trust her. And same thing with Diane. It's just the other nurse. I have to watch her. She works 12 hours a week, or 12 hours a day, 3 days a week. And I have to stay up watching her. You know, like this last week, you know, I get to bed at 8 o'clock in the morning when the nurse comes in. No, I don't get to bed at 8. But when the nurse comes in, I have to tell her about Tracy. Her last, you know, movement was this way. She's on her back now. Her next movement should be that way. She was on, you know, 97 to 100 all night. She did poop or didn't poop, whatever. Changed the diaper at this time. And then we hand off to the next nurse. And I can go to sleep. So I'm usually asleep by 8:30. And, you know, I have to get up by 12 for community service. So I get 3.5 hours of sleep on the 3 nights a week that I do 16 hours. So, which, you know, it's okay. I chose to do this. It's my burden to pass, you know, it's okay. But the second day I was doing a 16-hour shift, I had, you know, Reaper was supposed to show up and take the van and the trailer and all this, and he sent Mark. So Mark comes in here and he pounds on my door. Now, mind you, I just did 2 16-hour shifts, and I only got 3 hours the first night, 2 hours the second night, and he pounds on my door and he's like, "Hey, Rich, we're gonna need help with this trailer out here." I'm like, "Screw you! I just got to sleep. The boys know what to do." I'm thinking Reaper was there with the boys. And he's like, "No, there's no boys. It's just me, Rich." And I went back to sleep. 10 minutes later, I knock on the door again. 10:35, you know, boom. "Dude, I need your help out here." So I had to get up, only having 2 hours sleep. And I got up and I helped him put the trailer on and all that stuff. And he left. He was going to pick up Reaper and then go get the saltwater fish. So you acclimated them in and they're all doing good?
As far as I can tell.
Okay. So anyways, then you know, I try and go back to sleep. It's 10:30 now. I get to sleep. It's 11:15. My son shows up at 11:30. "Hey, you got to get up. We got this person here. We got to move this tank. We got to do this." I'm like, "Oh my God." You know, I was like, I hate life. I got maybe 2.5 hours sleep, 2 3/4 hours sleep. I don't know what it is, but it ain't enough. And that's after my first 16-hour shift where I only did 3 hours. So I was so agitated and aggravated. It was crazy. But, you know, I got some sleep last night. Marion came over, so I slept last night. And then Latrice was here this morning. So I went back to sleep because I saw them come in and I talked to them. And then I went back to sleep. And I slept from 8:30 until like 11 today. And, oh, my God, I got 7 hours last night and another 3.5 hours today. I woke up. I had a spring in my step. I was bouncing around here. You know, Ed, my community service guy, couldn't keep up with me. You know, and he's usually used to me. "What's up, Ed? How you doing? Okay, today you can do that, or you can do this." And today I'm like, "Come on, Ed, keep up. Let's go. We're doing this." You know, I was like springing on him, like, you know, spring chicken all day. You know, he was like, "Wow, there's an amazing difference." But basically, Tracy's taking, you know, care of very well, and she's doing very well. Hasn't had a bed sore in what? It's going on 3 years. Ever since she came home, she's never had a bed sore since she came home ever. So I mean, we're taking care of her, and she's still coming around. Now I like to call them baby steps, but she's still doing more baby steps every week, every month. She's doing more baby steps. And, you know, she went from moving slowly to moving fast now, you know? So the other thing I had to tell you. Okay. Now this gets me. You've all seen that picture of me and Tracy. She's got her hand in my hand. Like give me your hand, Jerry. She had a hand in my hand like that. She was in the wheelchair and I was standing up, and I could let go of my hand and she still hold on, right? And this has been for a while. She's done good with that. Well, this last week, I had her holding on to my hand, and I'm doing like moving up, and I'm letting go of her hand, but she's still holding on. I'm moving up, I'm moving left, I'm moving right, and she's still holding on. And I'm like, "Latrice, watch this. Tracy, keep holding on." And I keep shaking her hand, I keep moving, and I keep doing this, and then I hold it still, like, 30 seconds. I'm like, "Keep holding on, honey. You're doing good." And she kept on grabbing hold. And then I told Latrice, I'm like, "Watch this." I'm like, "Let go, honey." And her hand, it didn't immediately let go, but her hand did this. She went from me not holding her hand to her going and sliding out, and within 3 seconds, her hand dropped. And I'm like, "Oh my God, honey, you listen to me. Thank you so much." And I told Latrice, I'm like, "Watch this." And I grabbed her hand again, and I picked it up, and I'm shaking it all around. I'm like, "You're holding it up good, honey." And then I held it still, just the way that she let go. I'm like, "Okay, keep holding on, honey." And I held my hand there. And I didn't move it, because you could move it and she'd grab. But just the way I told her to let go is the same way. I held her. I'm like, "Okay, now hold my hand there. Don't let go, honey. Don't let go." And I let go of her hand, and she kept on holding. After about 30 seconds, I'm like, "Okay, honey, let go." And within 3 seconds, hand dropped again. I'm like, "Latrice, she's listening to me, And I was like amazed by it. And Latrice was completely blown away. She's like, "Oh my God, she is listening." So she's there, and now she's able to respond, and she's listening. You know, it just, we got to get her to speed up a little and listen to other commands that the doctor is going to give her, you know, when he's here. So I'm plain and simple. I love my baby. I'm proud how hard she's trying, and I love her to death. I can't wait for her to come back. I cannot wait, you know. Everybody else sees her like she's already gone and this and that, and you're just wasting time. I'm not, though. She is coming back. She is making waves. She is, you know. And I don't know. I don't know. I hope you guys like the Tracy update today, because she's got my heart. She really does. She's such a fighter. Oh, my God. You know, what person would put up with 25 years of the guy you cheated on treating you like shit? And I didn't really treat her like shit, but I treated her like, I don't believe you. I don't care, you know. Screw you. You're a liar. You know, that's how I treated her, you know, and she still put up with it, and all she wanted was back to me, you know. My thing was, I preached, it takes two to get ahead in life, period. All you people that have people, you don't understand how awesome that is. It takes two people to get ahead. You can't have one person going to work and one person staying home no more. You just can't. So if both people trusted each other to get ahead, and you guys will get ahead. And you know what? So what that you don't get that new Corvette you want this year? We can work towards that. It may take 4 or 5 years, you know. You know, so what that you don't get the I don't know, the movie room or movie edition you wanted for your house. You know, so what? You didn't get it this year, we'll try next year, you know? And you save up money, you both work. You know what? That's not one guy working and another girl going, I need $50 hair conditioner, I need this, I need that, you know? No, that girl ain't working towards your future. That girl is looking for herself and what she wants. You know, Tracy, she didn't care what shampoo or conditioner we had. It doesn't matter as long as there was some, you know, and she was such a low maintenance girl. I always appreciated her for that, you know, and I don't know. We worked together and we got ahead. But, you know, during that whole divorce time, I told her, I feel like I'm climbing this wall to get ahead, and I'm dragging my 2 children with me. At the time I only had 2, and that was Richie and Richard. You know, Josh wasn't born yet, and I'm dragging myself up this hill, and I'm dragging you, holding onto my feet, trying to pull me back down. That's what I feel like, you know, because of all the stuff you were doing to me, and it's crazy, you know. And if she would have realized that her life would be better staying with this one guy than listening to other guys saying your life will be better with me, and then she goes and gets with them, and then they leave her high and dry, you know. I don't know. She didn't need to do that to me because she already had my heart, and she didn't realize it. And I think she realized it afterwards, and that's all she wanted back, you know. I don't hate her no more. I don't look down on her no more, you know. I can see how things can happen anymore, you know. I just want her to come back. People in the comments. I don't want to read all that, but that's funny as shit. Tyler says, it's okay, Rich. She knows how much you mean to her, and eventually she will be able to tell you how much she loves you. Don't worry. I know you don't like hearing TGIS, but everything will be normal soon. Green Queen says, my ex would not want to read my journals. I told her like it was. You know what? I'm not saying every ex is great. I'm saying in our relationship, she fucked up, and then she realized it, you know. It don't happen to everybody, you know. There's a lot of exes out there that deserve to be exes. You know? And Green Queen, I agree with you. Your ex should read your journals to see how you really felt, to see how he can fix himself, because you can't fix nobody else. You know? I've tried. It don't work. They end up hating you. Raheem says, where is Reaper these days? No videos for 3 days? Really? Well,
he's had videos out.
And he just put out a video of the rescue he just went on, so you better check that. Tracy and her gaggle says, Rich, you're awesome and you're doing an amazing job. Tracy knows how much you love her. I hope so. You know, it would suck. I mean, literally suck for her to wake up and be like, who are you? And then go fall in love with somebody else and move in with them. Yeah, it would literally suck. It would be so horrible. She don't remember how much she loved me, you know? That would be horrible. I mean, I can see it happening, but that would be horrible. Stephen Miller says, me and my future wife. You know what? If you find that special someone and you can make it work, I have all the hope in the world for you, because there's nothing better than two people that love each other and just want the other person to grow. And you know what? You give up of yourself to make that person grow, and they do that to you, and you both become so much better that you can't live without the other person. That is togetherness. That is beautiful. That is amazing. You don't find that much no more. Jan Barb, the fish keeper, says, Team Tracy, love you, Rich. Harley Gem, no trust, no relationship. Once trust is broken, it takes so much to get it back, if ever. But she's worth it, though, because you know why? I didn't have no trust for her. I let her live here because she was homeless, because the new guy she left me for left her homeless. You know, how are you now? How are you? You know, are you doing good? No, you're homeless? Well, that sucks to be you. It's not my problem no more. But I couldn't let the mother of my children be homeless, so I let her live here, let her live under stipulations that pretty much nobody else would abide by, you know, and she did, and she became a great, that was my one main thing, was to have her become a better mother to my children, you know. How can you...
That's how you started this conversation, Tracy, update.
Yeah.
Talking about that.
And we're back to it, yeah.
Back to it again, full circle.
Stephen Miller says, I hope so. Hope you and Tracy find peace and love. You know what? As long as she's able to communicate in any screwed up way, I don't care what she looks like. I don't care how she acts. I don't care anything. You know, if she can only say, you know, syllables, I don't care. If she can say yes, I will remarry her, because she deserves that. I gave her 20 years of shit for cheating on me, but she put up with 20 years of shit for what she did wrong, and she was a great mother to my children at that point, you know? I didn't give her that, what I should have given her, because I thought she was still a lying, cheating, you know, whatever. But I didn't realize she really meant it, you know? She never cheated again. She never lied again. She never done any of that. All she did was put up with my shit and want to be married to me. And how can I blame anybody for that, you know? She told me, you were the one that taught me right from wrong. You're the one that told me about morals and ethics. You're the one that showed me. You know, I didn't even know how to act. And you told me, if you want to be a good person, act like any good person you see, and you'll take on them traits. You know, I told her my first thing was watch Little House on the Prairie and watch Laura Ingalls. She's a great mother. She's a great, you know, companion, you know. be like her if you like her, or watch anybody else and take on their traits, and you will become that. And if that's what you want, if you want to be a slut, then go be a slut. That's your choice. That's what you want. She wanted to be Mrs. Ingalls, and I wanted a Mrs. Ingalls. I did. I didn't have no care for any other woman. I just wanted to make my woman happy, and I bought her a house. I had 2 kids with her, and she had a little white picket fence around it. Not only did I get her a car, but I put a system in it, and tinted windows and rims on it. That's her car, her little car. I was doing everything I could because I loved my wife. And when I found out she cheated on me when my second kid, 6 years old or 6 months old, I'm home taking care of the kid, and where's she at? She's gone for 2 weeks. Where the hell did she go? I put her in missing persons and all that shit. It blew me away how you can do all this much, and then some guy talking greener pastures over there, and you're going to go for it. She never loved me, so I never believed her since, I don't know. Let's go on. Tracy update is over with. Okay, guys. Let's go back to hi.
Hi, everybody.
Rick Farrell says, hi, everyone. Just started watching from Australia. Rich, you are a font of piscatorial wisdom, and you are more than assisted by Jerry, who is so funny. Thank you. I think that's the greatest comment ever. All right. Love you, Rick Farrell. And thanks for watching, brother. We're over here complaining about the heat, and he's over in Australia, where the heat is downright unbearable.
Right now it's winter in Australia.
No way.
Yeah.
Rick, is it winter there?
It's the other side of the planet.
You stop it. Quit hitting me with
I bet you he's sitting at about maybe 2.9 Celsius. Right?
Oh, that would be cold as shit.
34.
Right.
32.
Cold as shit.
It's winter there. Ocean's moves it high.
All right, it jumped way ahead.
Yeah, you did. You almost caught up.
No, I'm still going back.
I've got a ways to go back yet.
Yeah.
There you go. No, there was one that had a bunch of arts in it. But... Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Just start there.
You just start there. Can we have a Jerry update? Hey, Gregorius. Jerry's still alive. I didn't have to. He's still here.
Hi, everybody.
There's the Jerry update. Oh my God, I'm still scrolling back. Oh, here we are. That was my last thing I said. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Joanna Nell says, like you said, Rich, she was young. Yes. But see, I didn't know she was young. She lied to me about her age. And, I threw her a 21st birthday party and got her family involved. And, it turns out to be her 18th birthday party. So I was living with her since 15 because she told me her parents threw her out.
That's with Tracy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't know that she was that young, at first,
Yeah, really. Dangerous.
Jay and Barb, the fish keeper, said, did you try the yes-no cards? Yes, I got a yes-no board. And I think she follows it a little bit. I flipped them upside down so the yes is on the other side. She did look at that, but I can't guarantee it yet. You know, give me another week of trying, and I'll give you a guarantee next week.
Jerry, what's your weird routine?
He pulls on it while he's talking to you. That's his routine. That's it.
I don't catch it in my zipper or light it up. I answered it then while you were on Tracy.
Harley Gem, more muscle control is absolutely amazing to hear. Yes, that's what I thought. Okay. Aw, Rick Farrell says, I really admire the way Rich is looking after the rescue and Tracy. This is real love in action. I guess, but, you know, she's part of my family. And wouldn't you do it for your kids? Well, even my ex-wife is one of my kids. I care for her. You know, she's out there on the streets and nowhere to live. She can live here. I'll take care of you. And then it turned into more and more and then more over the years. You know, so, I mean, of course, I'm going to take care of her. I even tried calling her family and letting them come over here and see her, and not one of them did. Every one of them found an excuse why they're still mad at me and won't come over here. You know, so screw them all. Marie Dean says, good nurses are worth their weight in gold, aren't they? I mean, I would die protecting Latrice and Miriam and Diane. I mean, I would. They are here and they just love Tracy so much, and they dote on her and they talk to her and all the time. I love that. James McNally says, hey, Big Rich, it sounds like you need a vacation to recuperate your batteries. I don't want you to have burnout. I reached burnout, 4 years ago. I'm running on fumes and it's okay. I won't falter. Don't worry. I won't not take care of her. I won't, I could have taken her and sent her into, what's that called, where you can send her away for 7 days? Hospice. I could do that, but they won't do it for 3 days, like a weekend. They'll only do it for 7 days. So I can't do that because I might lose a nurse over that, because they have 7 days. They don't have to work. Now, if all my nurses come together and say, okay, we agree on these 7 days and we're taking a vacation, that's fine. But then I still got to know that the place that they're going to take her for hospice is going to take care of her, which none of the nursing homes did before. That's why I fought so hard to get her home. So, I mean, I'm stuck in a situation there. Marie Dean says, when you're a primary caregiver, you don't get vacations. Ain't that the truth? Gracie says, she's slowly coming back. She will be back soon. I tell her all the time that I believe she deserves to grow up and meet her grandchildren, because, I gave her 3 boys and all she wanted was a little girl. And now we've got 2 little girl granddaughters. She would so be lost in this. I would have to go and just, like, I don't know, rent a babysitter to take care of things, because Tracy's taking care of the granddaughters. You know what I'm saying? She's so gung-ho on the little kids. And, she knew she had, granddaughters. She'd be like, Rich who? Joanna Nellis says, fantastic update, Rich. You love her so much. No, I love her normal. Like everybody should love their wife, and every wife should love their husband. You got to understand, it's a partnership. If you love somebody, then you want them to do their best, and they want you to do your best, and you do that together. and you grow together. If you're with somebody and they care about themselves and then you care about them, it's just wrong. It's wrong. You know, fix things, make things right. OBG Foster says, I'm single and a loser. No, you are not. Don't you dare say that. Holy shit. No, no, no. You've made it this far. Stop. You can rise above. Just stop. Don't call yourself a loser. Tracy and Gaggle says, been married for over 20 years, and marriage is not easy for sure. It takes a lot of, yes, it does. It takes a lot of work, lots of patience, lots of communication, and definitely lots of love. You know what? It's hard being the one person that says, I can't live without you. I'll do anything to make you happy. And the other person is doing anything to make themselves happy. You know, you're in a bad situation.
It's called codependence.
Right. Now, you find somebody that all they want is your happiness and all you want is their happiness. You work together, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Christian Gaggle says, Raheen, me too. Both my parents passed away from lung cancer and smoking. Okay. I don't know if I told you guys this, but this is the reason I don't like smoking. Okay. I used to wake up every morning, get ready for school, whatever. My mother and my grandmother would be sitting at a table in the kitchen, little round table, and they were just chain smokers. Once one's done, they'd start another one. And they would both, chain smoke together, to where there was a 9-inch pile of cigarette butts on the table out of an ashtray. And the whole house smelled of cigarette smoke. And you wake up to that and you're just like, and then, pancakes or eggs and bacon. And you try and taste it. It just tastes like cigarette smoke. It was gross. And then all the walls were sticky with yellow stuff. And, it was just gross. I hated. I grew up, I've never touched a cigarette in my life. I've never smoked. I won't even clean up a table with cigarettes on it. I make someone else touch that. I won't touch them. It's just gross to me. It's gross. And, these other people that love it, and they don't think nothing of it. Well, that's fine. You clean that table because I'm not touching it, Mark says, isn't Reaper fixing his car? Probably taking it easy, relaxing. Well, he did get it towed over here so that I can fix his car, and it's sitting outside because it's raining. It's pouring down rain right now. It's raining, so I can't work on it yet. But I got to take his whole exhaust manifold off, which has a built-in catalytic converter down to a certain point, and I got to unbolt it from there. Now, to take that off, I got to take off the whole deck cowling up here and take that off to get the exhaust out, and I got to take a motor mount out. So I got to do that in the next couple of days because this car's here, and then he bought the parts, the new one's here. We just got to put it on. Prince Vino, hey, what's up, buddy? Says Prince Vino here with an adult beverage in hand and yummy snacks within a reach. And Fishy Friday on the big screen. Yep, my time of the week. Here's to you, Prince Vino. Love you, bro. Lori Petrosky says, I love men and wire rim glasses and long hair. Shit, it sounds like I'm your perfect dude. I'm kidding.
I think she was talking to me.
Oh, she's talking to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, now she talks about her husband. What the hell? Lori. She says, my husband had to go through chemo and radiation, can't grow a damn beard. Oh, so she was talking about you. I don't have a beard.
I lost all my hair to the radiation. This is what's grown back in 5 years.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't cut it. My beard
If
or
you
my
take it
hair.
and do like this and then just cut off the end, it'll all be matching.
I haven't cut my beard or my hair. Go like this.
Don't do that. Now you look like a goat. Tyler Kerr says, Rick, welcome to Fishy Friday. And the best thing about Friday, trust me.
Yeah, Mark, I prefer to smoke too, but can't smoke in the house. I'm with Tracy.
No, it's gross. Lori says, Rich, you have a lot of hope, and I have a lot of prayers for you. Oh, thank you, Lori.
Mark says boobs.
Jay and Mark, we'll drink to that. But Jay and Barb says, the fish keeper says, hi, 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 spelled correctly. Here's 3 for you.
You haven't highlighted it.
Gotta love Sue Ann.
Blah, blah, blah.
Not only a good cook, but a good friend. All right. All right. Shauna says, hi. Oh, here we go. Here's hi. How are the Pacu doing in their temporary setup? They're doing great, except for on Father's Day. Should I tell them? My kids come over here on Father's Day, but
I'll tell you what good sons he's got. They actually tried to carry this man.
my sons come over here on Father's Day, and I love Father's Day. You know, I have my kids trying to help me cook, steaks and take care of me, and I just love the day of, I feel I got gypped on Father's Day because I don't remember a damn thing. Because my kids come over, and they brought everything to make lemon drops. And now I don't do shots. I've got a 61-year-old liver, right? I drink, I sip my drink, and I get a little buzz, and I go to sleep. That's fine for me. Well, they're sitting there like, your turn, Dad. Oh, we just did a shot.
It
You're
was
behind.
a challenge to keep up is what it was.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, I ain't no bitch. So let me get that next shot. And next thing you know, the bottle of Tito's is gone, and we're starting on the bottle of, what's that?
Or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the next bottle was.
Yeah.
And I don't remember shit. Last thing I remember was taking a shot of Tito's. And I don't remember anything after that. And the problem is, they had me keep drinking shots, and then I fell off my chair. So I hit the ground on the back deck. And instead of bringing me a pillow and a blanket, they decided to pick me up. Now, I saw these videos, hilarious. Just unbelievably make you laugh, belly gut laugh. They're hilarious. And they're trying to pick me up, but I'm a dead body at this point, 316 pounds. I'm down from 340, but 316. And, I'm a dead body. And my kids couldn't pick me up. And they got me, but they got me to stand up once. And they both had an arm around both their heads, and they walked me towards the house. They got me inside from the back deck to the fish room, and I stubbed over the little 1-inch doorway, tread there. And I tripped over that and fell, and that's it. They couldn't get me back up. So they put me to sleep right there on the back of the pool room on the carpet with my feet sticking out the door. They pushed my feet up and closed the door. That's how I slept. I woke up from there. But now, here, back to the Pacu. I woke up in my bed. Now, mind you, I never sleep naked. 1, I don't have a girlfriend. 2, I have to be on call at all times for, Tracy. Whether a nurse is there or not, blah, blah, blah. I have to be available to come running out. So I never sleep naked. I woke up in the bed, and I was face down, which I never sleep on my belly. I'm a side sleeper. I never sleep on my belly. I was face down, and I wake up. I got my arms down my side. I'm like, oh, what the hell happened? I look up, and I'm like, what the hell? And then I realize I'm naked. I'm like, why am I naked? What the hell? And I sit up in bed, and I see my clothes next to the bed. I'm like, okay. what's going on? Why is my clothes next to, okay. So I grabbed my clothes. I got my shorts and my underwear, and they're soaking wet. I'm like, holy shit! Did I just piss myself last night? And I smell them. No, it smells like pool water, not pee. So I grabbed my shirt, and it's soaking wet too. Okay. So now all my clothes. That means I was swimming. Was I swimming last? I text my son. Was I swimming last night? And he texted me back, laughing out loud. No. I'm like, I woke up, my clothes are soaking wet. He goes, first thing he says, did you piss yourself? I'm like, no. I haven't been that drunk in forever, you know? So, I tell him, I'm like, I woke up, butt ass naked on my bed with my arms down to my side and my face in the ground. And my foot hurts, my toe hurts, and my lips cut from inside all the way through to the upside towards my nose. I couldn't stop my tongue from touching it. My lip was cut open. And I'm like, I don't know what, but my toe feels like it's broke. My lips cut open, and my back is killing me. And he's like, dude, you didn't do nothing. You passed out. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, I woke up on my bed, butt-ass naked. He goes, you woke up in your bed? We put you to sleep, and you were in the back of the pool pond. And I'm like, okay. So I start, thinking, and I can't remember anything. I go out and I look at the pool pond for, remember we took the koi or the pacu out of there and put them in that little temporary pond? In a blind guy's reality, that takes up room in the walkway. So when it turns out, I walked in, I got up from sleeping on the carpet that I was, and I walked to go into my house, and I stubbed my toe. I fell over the pool pond. I hit my face on the top railing of the pool and then right into the pool. And I was laying on my back with the pacu. And I'm like, that's the only thing that makes sense. I got to rewind the cameras because I got a camera in the pool room. Sure enough, you see me. I get up from the back floor where you start seeing me on camera, and I walk, and then I walk faster, and then I walk faster, and I walk faster, and then I stubbed my toe. I fell forward onto the pool pond and went into the pacu tank. And I'm like, son of a bitch. I don't remember none of that. But I guess what I did was I took off my shorts because they were the farthest away from the bed. Then I took off my shirt, and then I hit the bed like this. Boy, just face first with my arms down the side. That's how I woke up. I never sleep face down. I never sleep on my belly. I always sleep on my side. And I never am undressed because I got to be on call 24/7 with the nurses. So it turns out that's exactly what happened. I seen it on the video. And now it all understands and makes sense. And I woke up, took a shower, and that wasn't good enough. I was hung the fuck over. I was shaking, trying to get my cup to my face. I was shaking like this. I was like, And I had alcohol poisoning for sure. I was so confused and so in the fog for the whole day. And I had the hot sweats from 11 o'clock until about 3 o'clock. And I had to take another shower because I was sweating so much and put on fresh clothes. And I have not been that hungover in years. I told my kids, I can't keep up with you. I don't have a 60 or a 20-year-old liver. I have a 61-year-old liver. And you know what? I can't do shots with you. Let me sip my drink while you guys do shots because I can't keep up. I secede. I'm done. Oh. Hayden says, we need to see that tumble, Rich. We have to see that, please. No, you don't. Just picture a guy that is walking and he's leaning towards where he's going to fall and he starts running faster and faster and then ends up in the pool. Okay, that was it. You've seen it.
I agree with Shanna's poor parkour.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine what they went through? 316-pound guy just splashes into the pool. They got 6 foot by 8 foot to move, and then I fall into the pool with them. They had to be like, holy shit, bro, that dude's drunk.
after the family left, I was cleaning up a little bit, and I'm stepping around you, and you kind of turned a little bit, and I says, "You alive down there?" He goes, "Yeah."
And did I move?
No,
You just left me there?
hey, I can't pick you up. I watched both your sons under your armpits like this, and
And my son Richie can deadlift 360 pounds, but he couldn't lift me up.
your legs refused to do anything. They were dead lumps.
Oh my God. Hayden says, I'd pay to see that. Oh no, Matt LeMay is getting evicted and stuff. Brother, if I had a place, I'd rent it to you. Ouch. But you know what? It's been like 4 or 5 days, and every day I wake up, my back's better. I'm more intuitive. I'm more into it. I'm more thinking. And today I was on top of my game. I got a bunch of stuff done. Well, Carl M says, Big Rich, I really can't understand why anybody except people with ponds would keep or even want to start growing out pacus. Here's the thing. They sell pacus for $4 a piece at 2-3 inches. And then they don't tell people how big they get. They look like little piranha. And they've actually endorsed them as vegetarian piranhas at like, you know, what's the name of the different pet stores?
Yeah,
Petland, Pet Supplies Plus, Pets, you know, whatever.
They're getting a lot better at it because people are really frowning on it.
Right, they're getting better.
And we've had a big hand in that.
That was bit, you know, that was it because people were selling them for $4 a piece, and then every 10-gallon would overgrow, and then they, you know, maybe buy a 55-gallon, and then it would overgrow that, and then they're giving it to us. We went on a pacu, you know, thing, and we only stood behind pet stores that wouldn't sell pacu. You know, I've got a window cling that goes in their window. This store is backed by Ohio Fish Rescue, blah, blah, blah. And we did this stuff for, you know, years. And we've got the pacu population down.
I mean, a tinfoil barb can get 14 inches, but it takes like 30 years. But they will tell you how fast. I think the pacu is probably the fastest growing fish initially that we have out there. I mean, the catfish grow in spurts, but the pacu get like 70% of their growth in the first year and a half.
Right. Raheem says, so Rich, how many people lifted from the pool to put you in bed? Nobody. My sons carried me like 20 foot from the back deck to the back of the pool room and decided that's it. And they took a bunch of pictures and video, you know, hey, here's our dad, you know, what's up, you know. And they took all these videos and stuff, and they left me there. I guess I got up in the middle of the night and tried walking to my bedroom.
Well, they left you a blanket and pillow.
Right. But I woke up, and I'm in the back of the pool room, and I tried walking back to my room, and that's the only thing that makes sense because my shirt was closer to my bed than my shorts and underwear.
Well,
and I never sleep naked.
Camera.
Right. Well,
he hasn't shown me yet either. So
I end up naked in my bedroom, and I never sleep naked. So I had to put things together in my mind, you know.
You're lucky the tub was there. You'd end up in the pool.
Oh, shit.
You jumped way ahead.
Matt LeMay says, Big Rich, we paid this man every dime we had while I was in the hospital, and he said there was no eviction coming. He lied, and now we're broke. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry to hear that, man.
That's not good.
Tyler Curtis says, if you want to drive to New York State, Matt, you might have an easier time. I got a place you could stay. Not kidding either. Okay. James Barb says, face down, ass up. That's the way we like to sleep. Oh my God. That's not how I was sleeping, but thank you for that info.
Just before that, Matt says, sorry, everybody, I shouldn't bring the live down. You're not bringing down the live stream. You're just saying what's happening.
So anyways, another big story. 3 days ago, it was Tuesday, the electric jumped on, jumped off, jumped on, jumped off. And then all of a sudden, we didn't have AC no more. I checked all the breakers all the way around the house, and it was horrible. It was like 86 that day, and the AC was off. And I just bought this new AC unit last year. So, of course, I called the guy that installed it, and I told him what happened. And he says, oh, did your, electric go on and off, anytime? And I'm like, yeah, we had a big, electric shortage. It jumped on and off like 7 times and then stayed on. And he goes, it's probably your transformer, probably blew. I'm like, okay. And he says, I'll be over tonight. For 3 days, he didn't show up. I kept on, bothering him, but I couldn't say like, dude, don't be an asshole, show up. I was like, yo, bro, we have Tracy here. It's 90-degree days coming up. We live in a ranch, which means there's no attic above us. The roof is above us, and it becomes an attic. In other words, if you get on a ladder and you step up there, it's going to be 120 degrees against the ceiling because that's where the sun's coming down 8 inches on the other side of the ceiling. It's a ranch-style house. Looks cool with the beams and all that, but there's no ceiling and no attic. And every time you jump up into the attic, it's 140 degrees. That roof is right here with us. So you can't turn on ceiling fans because you're pushing down that 120-degree air into the 70-degree air. And because you feel a breeze, you think it feels better. And it circulates all of it, makes it all, 85-degree air. So you can't turn on ceiling fans. And what you got to do is, heat rises and cold air goes flow. So it fills up the basement, which makes Jerry's room the coldest room in the house. And then we have to live on the first floor that's fighting the roof coming down. So up to like 6-7 foot is where the thermostat is. It'll keep it around 71. And then above that's like 120. So heat rises, cold lowers. And that's how we've been fighting it for years. Well, now it went off. And I called the guy and he said he'd come over and he didn't come over. Second day, I'm hooking up. Latrice was here, our main nurse, and it was 86 degrees outside, which means with that baking heat, we're in an oven. It was like 90 inside. So I hooked her up a air conditioner. Now I have windows that bounce out like this. They don't have the windows that go up and down where you can put an air conditioning unit in. I have the windows that scroll out. So what I did was I left one closed, I scrolled one out all the way, and I plasticed off that whole side of that window. And I cut a hole for a round tube, which is on the internal air conditioners, you have a unit that sits in your room and you have an 8-inch tube that goes through the window. And I put that through the plastic. And that's how I kept Latrice and Tracy cooler that day. It was still hot. But then the next day, it was colder, like 65 was a high. And Robin went through that no problem. Then the next day, Latrice is back and it's up to 86. And I had that air conditioner on. I put up plastic on this side of Tracy and plastic on that side of Tracy to where that air conditioner only had to cool that little area. And, we lived through that. And then the next day, he said he was coming by after work and he never showed up. And then today, which has been the hottest so far, he showed up at like 5 o'clock after Latrice left. I did my best to keep Latrice cool and all that. I put in an air conditioner in this room, and I put in an air conditioner in the next bedroom, and I put an air conditioner in my bedroom. And I bought a $400 air conditioner that's a standalone that runs a vent to the door. And we taped off our kitchen door going out to the deck. And now, as soon as it showed up, it was supposed to be here this morning. As soon as it showed up, I can cut a hole through and turn that on. It's 14,000 BTU. It should keep the first floor cool. Well, it was cool enough today, and it never showed up. Amazon's usually good about it, but I got to notice from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, it's not showing up until 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. So it's probably out there now, but I got to hook it up because the next 3 days it's going to be in the 90s. But he showed up today, and he got the air conditioning back on. But the problem was the air conditioning, even if it was on, like, I set it to 71, if it's 90s outside, it's still 76, 78 in the house because we're in a oven. So I'm going to leave these other air conditioners hooked up and accent the house AC that is back on today. So if it's 76 in the house because it's 97 outside, I'm going to turn on this air conditioner in the living room with them and bring it down more, 90 or 76 to 72 or something, and make it comfortable, So it wasn't a waste for me to hook up all these air conditioners, but we're back to the point where I have an air conditioner in my bedroom now, and if you turn on the microwave, which Jerry does a lot, it kicks the breaker out. Now all my cameras go out, my TV goes out, my computer goes out, and he has to turn the breaker back on to finish his microwave, like he's bringing up his coffee. So it was always a problem, We're back to that now. So Raheem says, Rich, you brought a portable AC. Well, I have one that's an 8,000. I bought a 14,000 BTU to add to the kitchen, and we went ahead and taped off the kitchen door that goes out to the deck that's been closed all this time. We taped off the screen door, and we got a hole cut through for that unit that's supposed to be delivered. It's probably out there right now from Amazon, and we can plug that in and help keep the AC down for Tracy and the nurses. But the point is, the AC's back on. Doesn't that feel nice in here?
Yeah, it is nice.
And we got used to it. And then once it was off, we're like, ugh. And it was 100% humidity, and the air was off, and we had the doors open, and it felt like all the carpet was wet, the counters were wet, everything felt wet. It was disgusting. Tyler Curtis says, Rich, if your breaker is getting kicked, just change the fuse or fuses. That's the problem we had, and that's what we did, and it works fine now. Okay, problem is my house was built in 1959, and it has 15 amp breakers. Now everything updated is 20 amp breakers, but they don't refit the old whatever breaker box I have with 20 amp breakers. I've tried looking into that. So I have to, that's the last panel. I've done 5 panels on this house. I did the main panel, I did the sub panel for the pool room, and then I did another sub panel for the fish room edition. Then I did another sub panel for the deck and the back and the pond and all that. And now this is the original panel on the house that is just horrible. I need to redo it, but it's going to be like $1,500 more. And then everything will be up to code with 20 amp breakers. So that's where we're sitting now. But life's much better now.
I'm much better now.
That was creepy as shit, Jerry. I love you like a brother, but that was creepy.
It's the guy, the father from Night Court. The judge's father.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm much
better now. That was a great show.
It was.
It was.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. All right, guys. So you've been updated with everything. I hope you've been watching the videos. We got a video coming out Monday now that's going to show all the work we did this whole weekend. So got to watch that one. we got some things done. We got a lot of shit done. Josh has been concentrating on scraping the other tank. Remember how we got this tank in and now it's all blue? We're going to scrape the other tank and then turn it all blue to be able to put the glass in. We have all the glass for it. So we're doing that. All right.
I'm
Okay.
catching up here.
Okay.
Too many eyes. What's your top 5
Joshua
fish?
T says, are you posting daily? No. Every other day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we post on YouTube, but Josh posts every day on TikTok, Instagram, and something else. I forget what it is.
Carl asked what your top 5 fish are.
Top 5 fish?
Yeah.
Shit. I would have to say, of course, my arapaima. I love them. My GATF, my Paraiba, my lungfish, Australian lungfish. And then the next one would probably be, let me think, next favorite fish. Oh, my black-eared Peroon shark, because you never see them, and I have one, and they get to 8 foot.
That's beautiful fish.
Right, right. That's my top 5. What's your top 5?
I think he was asking about what of any fish. Just what we have here.
Joshua Ortiz says, okay, sorry, man. I lose my mind when I don't see your videos. I love them and really do keep me going. So sorry. Mark, if Jerry smokes too much, does he forget his prior night? If Jerry smokes too much, he forgets his name that day.
You've never seen that.
Well, I'm just saying. He laughed about it. Today we did a lot of work. We got Brad says there was no video Monday. So you just explain why you were hungover and spending time with the Pacu. Well, no, yeah, it was Father's Day. I wasn't going to work on Father's Day. I wasn't going to video, so I mean, that's just a given. It was my day, Raheem says, are all your rainbow fish rehomed? No, we have a few in there still. We rehomed a lot of them. But mainly it's a geophagus tank with an angel tank now is what's left. Ross Dingle, is the Emperor cichlid still in the pool room? Yes. On the left side of the pool, you have a line of tanks. The very first one, the dark one, the black one, that's where the couches used to go. That's where it's at. It's in that tank.
The couch is supposed to be. Before I get into that.
Mark says, it's Friday night. Yay. You know what that means? After the 8 o'clock and the live stream's over with, I get to watch Tracy till 11 o'clock, and then I get to sleep from 11 until 7 with Miriam tonight. She's coming tonight, which I didn't think she was. I just found out she's coming tonight. So I get to catch up on my sleep. So you'll have good Saturday and Sunday videos. Shauna says hi. Mark says hi again.
Yeah, we're getting high.
Tyler says, you heard him, everyone. Drink up. We only got 19 minutes. Oh, shit. Well, okay, as far as normal things, I want you guys to know I've been maintaining a steady 316, weight down from 340, and I'm not able to get under the 316, but I reached 316, and I'm able to maintain it now. I got to do something. I got to change something to get me under that. And, you know, all I'm doing is eating meat, carnivore diet, but I'm thinking I'm eating too much or something. So maybe I need to starve myself on any diet and just eat what they say. And I can get down to under the 300 again.
Oh, okay.
Jay and Barb, the fish keepers, jumped up. Good night, Jerry and Rich. We enjoy your videos every Friday. It makes our day. Always sending love and prayers for Tracy. It takes a real man to do what you. Aw, thank you very much. That's not why I do it, but thank you for, you know, acknowledging that. Marie Dean says, I get no sleep until Monday morning, 8 a.m. Joshua Ortiz says, so what was the problem last week with the live? If you don't mind me asking, I may have missed the explanation. Yes, you already missed it. You know, every once in a while your phone messes up or whatever, you got to restart it and then it fixes it. Well, I restarted the computer the next day and it did not fix it. So what I had to do was I unplugged the Logitech Brio camera and then restarted the camera and then plugged the camera in, and it was saw it as a new camera, and then installed the drivers for it, and then it worked since. So no matter what program I was hitting or what, you know,
The camera needed to reboot,
yeah, it needed to reboot, and it wasn't just the computer.
but it was messing with the computer.
Jerry, what's your top five?
My top five fish?
Yeah.
At the rescue?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Yeah, my butt is sore.
I like that black angel we've got up in the front tank.
Mm-hmm.
The pair of the long fin green dragon bristlenose plecos.
Yeah, yeah, they're nice.
They're nice. Any of the geos, that's kind of a given.
I love them geos.
There's just I haven't observed them enough to you know, one's more character than the other, but they have distinct characters.
Well, with all them hiding, what's her name? Shit, I can't believe I can't remember her name. Skylar was here the other day, and she was like, "Oh, all your Skylers are all your Skylers, all your Geophagus are missing. They all died off." I'm like, "No, not one of them died." And I had her stare at them, and she found them. They're all in the weeds and the plants and stuff. And then they came out, and she's like, "Oh, okay, they're all there." And you know, it made me look at them more because I didn't notice they were missing. You know, but she saw an empty tank and didn't see the Geophagus, and I started looking after that, and now I see them all. And you know, I did a big water change and fed them more, and everything seems
strange in front of the tank. They were high, but well, we actually need more cover in there. Anyway, get away from the discussion on the tank.
the massive blue discus we still have in the 150, right?
The one blue.
That was in that video.
Yeah,
We still have.
not the biggest one, the smaller one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They could be. They're all close to the same, but yeah, I'm saying it's the smaller one. Anyway, I don't know. There's so many fish to choose from out there.
Well, you're at top three so far.
I
You
like
got two more.
dark. I like Dark Star.
Who's that?
The dark short-bodied gar, that big 10-year-old female that's
In what tank?
in the monster pond.
The
alligator
4-footer?
gar. Yeah, the big
Oh.
black one.
Yeah, he's 4 foot and he's a short body.
He's a she.
Okay, well, whatever. He's 4 foot, and you're calling him the new one. I don't.
No, he's not a new one. I just been calling him Dark Star.
I never knew that.
I was referring to her as the dark gar. It's
Okay.
different from the other ones.
Gotcha.
And then I was siphoning water out of the corner of the pond, and she came up and rubbed her teeth along the back of my hand. And I said, "Thank you." gonna strike sideways. So
Well, she could have taken these little sausage
I
fingers.
know. That's what I meant is saying thank you. But when she did that, I called her Dark Star instead of the Dark Gar, and it
Gotcha.
just kind of stuck. But she snatched a great big chunk of meat the other day too. Josh had it on his video.
Really?
Throw a big chunk of meat in there and see who's going to take it.
Yeah. You're out of here?
Yeah.
Let me see your paper. Thank you. Everybody, this is Sophia. She got a little bit of
right now.
yeah, she got a little bit of community service because she sent a text to the wrong person. And she was actually here watching Tracy for us while we're doing the live stream. So, and I don't have her watch Tracy because she knows what she's doing or anything like that, or she's a nurse or nothing. She's a babysitter. And basically, if anything happens to Tracy, you call me and I can run in and take care of her. And that's all her responsibility is. So don't get mad. She can sit there and watch TV, play on her phone like a young girl, do whatever.
As long as she responds
as long
to
as
the
she,
alarm.
as soon as you hear the alarm, call me and I can run in there.
Same thing we listen to if where she's not here. It just works a lot more. It's much more relaxed not having to listen for it. It is appreciated and it does help out.
Holy shit. I gotta cross that out.
Well,
All right. 6:25. You're in at 3 o'clock. Time out 8. Okay, now we're hours.
I got 2 little spotted skiffia in about a 5-gallon, it's about a 13-gallon tank in the living room. And the things are only about about a half
There you go,
inch
Sophia.
long.
You're marked in and out.
Maybe
Thank you.
3/4
When are you
of
coming
an
back?
inch.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow is what, Saturday? Oh, I have a nurse. I'll
I always come here on Saturday at 12.
okay, but we have a nurse from,
Oh, I help you out on Saturday.
oh, you're gonna help me?
Yeah.
I thought you were only coming over on Tracy's days. Okay, you're more than welcome to come over,
Yeah.
for sure, but you won't be watching Tracy.
Yeah.
You know, just letting you know. I'll pick out soft, easy jobs for you. Okay, thank you.
Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye.
There's one fish I'd like to find. There's a black and it's a black paradise fish, but it's a hybrid color where it's almost a really dark blue with black edges, and it's like a crown tail. I want to get one so bad. They're great fish anyway. Easy going, easy to keep. That color for them is exceptional. Called the blue black paradise fish.
I love parrots. Uh-oh. Here's my phone. Oh, geez.
Anyway, other than that, I mean, there's a few that we really like. I'd like to see a couple more giraffe cats out there, some smaller ones. Those things are godsend in some tanks.
Oh, I love them. They clean the gravel so well.
I'd like to see a tigrinus. I'd really like to see one of them here.
The biggest we ever grew one was a 30-inch, and they
Yeah,
died suddenly for no
I
reason.
know, but they're so shocking. And it doesn't, you know. Notoriously hard to keep. There's a few fish I'd love to have, but I have never lived someplace long enough, stable enough, where there was more acidic, not acid, but it was someplace where the water was soft We got like a pH of 6.7, you know, and you can play around with little pistos and without having to RO water for them. Some of the fish I'd love to keep, an African butterfly fish.
I've
Looks
had
like a
butterfly
mini
fish.
arowana.
And it looks like it's upside down,
Yeah.
catfish. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've had many of them. I've kept many of them during my young life because they're oddballs. I
yeah,
love the oddball fish.
Yeah.
You know? And they're cool.
yeah.
All right, so let's read some more. Mark says Jerry needs a planted tank. Tyler Kerr says, Jerry, if you're being kept there beyond your will, just hit the pen. Just kidding, Rich. No, now I'm staring at Jerry to hit the pen.
Yeah.
Do it, I dare you.
Hi, everybody.
You motherfuckers. All right, I am out of a drink. But you know what? We got the riding lawnmower. There was 2 flat tires on it. We got both of them fixed today. We got the tortoise enclosure moved because he went in. We put him on 4-foot tall grass. He ate it all down to where you can see gravel now. So we moved him like 9 foot over onto all new grass so he can keep eating. And I can't believe how much that one tortoise eats. It's amazing.
Are you backed up way too far?
No, I'm at the end. That's back up. This is the end.
Okay. Are you on my head
Yep. Oh, my butt is sore.
You said Jerry needs a planted tank.
I skipped over that one.
I know you did.
You have like 16 planted tanks downstairs.
I've got a beautiful planted system. I've even posted it, put it together and posted it for a short period, but it's right now it's unstable in 6 tanks. Well, the biggest tank I've got right now is a 29.
Well,
I can probably get about a third of it in the 29 comfortably, but it belongs in a 75. At least a 3-foot breeder.
ouch.
4 foot will be better. I got too many Anubias in my collection for that 29.
Yeah.
I can't get them all in there anymore.
Well, just everybody, you wait till you see Monday's video and you'll see what we did all weekend long. Today's video was kind of cool, but Mondays will be bring everything together and let you know what has happened over the weekend. I made a deal with Josh tonight about a 3,000 gallon tank where he wants it, where I want it. So wait till Monday, you'll figure that out. So, all right, guys, it's been great hanging out with you. We're out of here now. Ouch. My back is hurting. My butt is hurting. We're done. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for having the drinking word being high. That was awesome. We all got drunk.
Yeah, except for his cup's empty now.
Well, that's why I want to go. My cup's empty. I got both of them right here. They're both empty.
Hi, everybody. Bye, everybody. Stay fishy, my friends.
Yeah, stay fishy, my friends. You take care. Let's go here. Let me stream. And okay, then we